just going to awkwardly talk to the camera. I'm making a YouTube vlog thing, so talk amongst yourselves while I cringingly do this. Alright guys, it's Rabea. It's early in the morning, hence the lack of enthusiasm. I'm sat with Joe. What's up? Joe and I play guitar in VOWER. And we've been invited to go to Marshall today.
I've been endorsed by Marshall.
Because Joe's going over to the dark side, and
Marshall.
No, we've been invited to Marshall today because we met up with the guy called Steph who works with Marshall.
You know, Marshall.
On tour in whenever it was, I can't remember, February? Was it February? No, yeah. Wait, it was, yeah. And he was like, you should come up because we've got a really nice studio and you can try any amps you want. We'll pull some out of the vault, so like we could be playing like 59 plexi, like a genuine 59 plexi and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, you should come and hang out. So we're in September 19th, I think, and we're taking a couple of guitars, QCs for effect. We're gonna go up and hang out and play some guitar amps and just go up to Marshall for the day. So that's why it's early, because it's a long drive from Brighton. We've arrived in Bletchley.
For years, the very existence of Bletchley Park was a closely guarded secret. And it was here that Alan Turing cracked the Nazis' Enigma code.
It's a really scenic place, if you've ever been. I recommend coming.
Full of roundabouts.
Full of roundabouts. We just got to the factory. It was a long drive. I don't really know what we're doing now, other than going in.
I've got two gentlemen here, but evidently they're here. It was organised by Steph. Ah, right, okay, well they're just here, in reception.
Alright guys, I just wanted to jump in at this point in the video, let you guys know that VOWER are going to be touring across the UK and Europe this November. If you want to grab a ticket to come see a show, links are in the description box below. But I also wanted to say that we're offering exclusive tour access passes, which we have 10 spaces of at each show, and for each one of those shows we're giving away 3 Neural DSP plugins, we're giving away a copy of Modern and Massive 2 from GGD, and we're giving away strings, picks, straps and cables from Ernie Ball. On top of all that, you can hang out with us in a sound check, listen to the sound check and go through the process, check out the gear, the whole rig, the in-ears rig and playback and all the rest of it, and how we put the show together. So it'd be really awesome to hang out with you guys. If you want to grab one of those passes, you can do so in the link in the description box. That's basically it, that's all I wanted to say. Enjoy the rest of the video. We are at the Marshall studio and we thought it'd be cool chatting with the guys here, being shown around and stuff, and we thought it'd be a cool idea to try out a bunch of amps that Joe and I haven't tried before, such as, I never tried a vintage modern, or the, what's the other one I haven't tried? The Yngwie signature as well, or the Joe Satriani JVM. I've got my own JVM, but I've never tried the Joe Satriani one. So we figured if we set up a bunch of amps and just mess around and see what it's like, that would be quite fun. So that's the general gist of what we're doing today. It's a sick studio. We've just had a look around. I'll film some in the control room as well. It's a Dolby Atmos studio and it's all custom set up. It's insane. Being a fan of studios and having my own sort of pretend studio, it's cool to come somewhere like this where it's actually like kitted out to the eyeballs. The room with all the toys.
Yeah, the room with all the toys. So this is obviously the hub of the studio, the control room. The main event is the Neve, so it's a 1974 Neve 8048. When it was first built, it was sold to Pathy Marconi's Studio D in Paris, and it did all the rock and roll records that went through that studio basically back in the day. That studio was actually the rehearsal room, but it had a particularly nice live room that everyone really liked for drums. Some of the records that it did with that exact scenario is Some Girls and Tattoo by the Rolling Stones, and Black Rose by Thin Lizzy, and countless others. So this section in the middle used to actually be on the end, and it was the patch bay. It was a small little patch bay. Because we took out the patch bay, there's loads of room for toys. We've got our nice pair of 2264 Neve compressors there as well, for example. That brings us over here. So this was actually the Wish You Were Here desk, which did Pink Floyd, obviously.
That's my favourite Floyd album.
Yeah, it's mental.
That is actually sick, though.
Yeah.
Because that album, yeah.
I think there's a photo floating around online that you could find of the band leaning on the top of the desk at the time, and you'll be able to recognise all of these like pillars and stuff, and it's just really cool that it's here, and we use it as our patch bay now, which, you know. What else have we got in here?
We've got a bit of outboard.
Nothing mental. A bit of everything, kind of the standard stuff with some fun toys. We've got a original pair of Pi compressors, which is like the John Bonham drum sound room compressors. They sound amazing.
Sick.
We've got some BBC Neve limiters, which is really cool. These have like an inbuilt 230 millisecond delay, so you can never overload them because they're kind of always catching up with what's already happened. We have two 1176s, one of them is being repaired right now, hence the gap, and some of the API lunchbox stuff as well.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if people want a really specific sound, more often than not, we'll hire stuff in or they'll bring their own outboards.
And for monitoring, I can see back there, huge Quested.
Yeah, so we've got they call them their four-way system Quest heads. Your typical setup is all one thing. It doesn't have like a separate sub or anything like that, which is cool.
It's all Atmos, right?
Yeah, and Quested were kind enough to do us some custom speakers for the Atmos. So it's 7.1.4 in here, and these speakers that you see up here were custom designed to hit the correct dB at the listening position.
And if people wanted to record here, if a band wanted to record here?
Get in contact with us through, there's a system on the Marshall website, which is just like a form to apply to sort of be like, hey, we're interested in using a studio. We don't have a specific studio Instagram, but Marshall socials, give them a message, more often than not they'll reply. If not, Adam Beer is a studio manager, and I'm Ollie Brightman with 3 L's on Instagram. That's another way to get to us. Or getting in contact with the record label, which is Marshall Records,
cool.
Which is majority of what the bookings come through. We are a commercial studio, however, it's important to keep in mind that we're usually booked about 3 months in advance.
I appreciate you showing me around.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's been fun.
I mean, like, you guys are kind of pretty good examples of like blending digital and analog. How does that kind of work within what you guys do?
It's pretty new. Well, it's relatively still quite a new world, isn't it?
Both our previous bands, it was like we both used dual amp sort of stereo rigs with big pedal boards. That was always what we've done. In VOWER, it's like, particularly because we're playing smaller venues and like we have to travel light, so we have to like make everything more compact, and smaller stages mean you can't be like we could not get away with this like volume in the venues we've been playing. There's just no way. Yeah, like sound engineers like, no, you have to turn that down. So trying to figure out the best way of doing it where we can have ultimate control over the sound and the volume, and it's still feeling like it's wide open and all that kind of stuff. So we've done a few iterations where it's like running amp models inside Core Cortex and then using the effects loop return to, you know, valve amplify essentially the sounds. Whereas what we're doing now is extracting the preamp from the amplifier and putting it in Quad Cortex via a effects loop block. Essentially, you can have pedals in front that are coming from here, like a tube screamer, but then you can also have effects in the loop. So anything before the effects loop block is a stomp box hitting the front of the amp like a normal amp, and then everything after that effects loop block is effects loop, and the effects loop block itself represents the preamp inside the amp. So it's cool because ultimately I could run the amp and all its tone. So this amp in particular, I could have the Joe Satriani stuff, and then if I wanted to, I could go in and turn my amp into, I think this is a Lone Star. So I can mix and match any amp model and still use the amplifier for its sound, rather than us traditionally going into the effects that return. We're always using what's inside there rather than the tone of the amp, which almost feels a bit unfair on the amp that you're using, because it's like we're not actually using it for its, we're just amplifying it.
Yeah.
So this is a cool way of doing it.
From like just like a utility point of view, like it for us, like in the UK where it might make more sense to take full rigs with amps and stuff like that, we can still do that. But then it's the freedom of being able to, like, if we've got to fly in for a festival somewhere like that, we can still recreate those rigs and just have that on QC. I think some of it is just trying to get away from that narrative that it needs to be one or the other.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It doesn't. Like, this is a cool example of it, and actually this is the first time I've ever plugged in this way. As you're explaining it, still a lot of it is just like...
Took me a while to get my head around it, to be honest. But it's to do with the line level and the level coming from the amp and what it's expecting to get level-wise, and it somehow the equilibrium is struck when it's rigged up in this way. You enjoying yourself?
I'm having a good time.
I thought my ears would be ringing more than they are.
That's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, that either means my ears are fucked or...
You'll be lying down later on and just be...
Yeah, not a vibe.
So
we've
been using a bunch of amps that they don't make anymore.
Yeah.
So
we got told to use amps that they are making.
Yeah. So we're going to go into the JCM 800 modified and...
The 59 Plexi.
No.
I made an executive decision that I was the one using it.
Yeah, I thought you did. I noticed it strategically worked its way onto your side of the
It
room.
was as you wandered off. They were like, what amp are you using? I was like,
800, 800, 800.
Yeah.
I love how precariously placed it is as well. I mean, that's just wonderful. Reflects how you feel about the Mode 4. Do you like the Mode 4?
I've never tried one.
Don't lie.
Why would I lie about that?
I reckon you've got one at home.
Okay, I've got 3 of them, and I love them. They're my favourite amps.
What's with the Mode 4 hate?
There is no Mode 4.
Mode 4 hate. Joe loves it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want a car that looks like that amp.
What, with the symbol on the front grille?
Yeah.
What's this little thing? Offset.
Yeah, it's just like a 1 watt or 5 watt. I think it's a prototype because there's nothing written on the back.
I think it's a 1 watt because then you've got the 5 upstairs.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's cool to see this.
I was going to say, did someone tell you?
That's George Michael's piano.
I know, that's why I just played that.
So this is George Michael's piano. It lived in his flat in Highgate for the majority of its life. It's actually, the rumour has it that he had a party the night before he died, and it's still got drink and red wine stains all on the inside, which is a cool little fact. See one of them there. At least I hope it's wine. You can hear like it's on lo-fi mode, the warmth, yeah. They made one for James Hetfield and its sister came to us.
Why is the one corner thing red?
Basically, I can't remember which way around it was. I think he had the Tolex changed or something at one point, and then a corner fell off, and underneath was red.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it never actually had a corner on it on his one. It was just, it fell off and was red underneath.
Oh, right.
And now they've put it on as like a...
And that's a 4x12, 4x15?
15, yeah.
That is ridiculous. So that's a photo of it. Looks tiny.
Yep.
On the 415.
415. And then the amp itself is like obscenely clean.
Right.
Which is probably not what you would expect.
No, considering his tone was just insane.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Cool.
Did you?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's like the first time I've plugged into an amp in, like a proper amp in a minute. So.
Yeah, because it's move the Starbucks cup. It's always we're always using modelers nowadays, which is great into the effects return. But this was like actual amps.
Still with QC though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, need the QC in our lives. But yeah, hearing the amps do their thing, all the different styles of amps. Like obviously, what we tried 5 amps, including that Plexi that we've never tried, and all of them were sick. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm surprised. You know, Marshall makes sick amps, always have.
Yeah, I suppose it's just the opportunity to like actually just go and turn a 100-watt amp. That my ears hurt a little bit now.
Yeah, but it's a good hurt.
But yeah, exactly. Worth doing.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much sums up this video. I hope it was interesting. Hopefully John can edit it into something that's actually worth watching. But as always, thanks for checking it out. Like, subscribe and share. Follow VOWER on Instagram, because, you know, we're in a band now. And see you all soon.
Catch ya. Nice one.